That should be our preview.
Did you record that?
Yes. Ready and action.
Hello, welcome everybody to episode.
Welcome.
I don't feel without the table. I feel like I have to like center me.
Mm-hmm. I feel that.
So here we are on this March 8th. I'm already fucking up.
We're in a new studio.
Yeah, we're recording
today.
Not live, but we're recording in the
live.
As
our budget got more. Our budget went up.
We got some money. All those views coming in from you guys. All those listening.
all those ad revenue.
Just kidding. We have no budget, you guys. We do this for zero money. But
you guys do it for zero money? Oh, this is really awkward.
Yeah.
You guys are getting paid?
Yeah. Oh shit.
Ooh.
Okay, well, we'll get to that a later time. I'll discuss that with you guys later. So, yes, we're coming from you to the recording studio in the Apollo. Beautiful day in Oberlin. The sun is shining. The birds are out. The water is cut off.
We have no water, guys.
Yeah, we have no water.
You probably know this.
But this is for the moms out there listening to us.
Who are so worried.
Don't worry about it. We're fine.
Yeah.
It's awful right
now. Some
we have
no
water.
I had milk.
You had milk.
So, hope you're doing okay out there, Obies, in the land of no water, getting your showers and your toilet flushes. Maybe by the time you listen to this, hopefully all those luxuries are back to you. So, we'll start off with some news.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, first piece of news is a news article I found. Usually Maya finds them all. But
thanks, Maya.
Thanks, Maya. You're really helping us out. But so the Oscars might go back to 5 Best Picture nominees. It's in news reported from, Vulture made the article. I don't know where they got this information, though. It just says that the Academy following
Hollywood
the controversy...
Reporter.
Oh, Hollywood Reporter said it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Following the controversy over the Dark Knight snub. Oh, that's what made them go to 10. I didn't actually read these articles. But it's that... There's no announcement yet, but they're expecting that it might happen, go back to 5 nominees.
It's usually because I think people are getting upset that either movies are getting snubbed when they're, because they're not using the whole 10. Now they've changed the system where it's by how many popular movies, and so some of them just sneak in, they'll do 8 this year. They did 9, I think, last year. And so people are, now upset because now movies that wouldn't be nominated, for Best Picture, quote-unquote Selma, because Selma was a film that just got shut out. Yeah. It was voted for Best Picture, so people are going to be upset.
Which in this article, it says it's a pity nomination.
Pity nomination,
which is okay.
Probably. It was,
what?
But, yeah, so I don't know how I feel. I mean, 5. I think 5 will be good because then everyone just gets snubbed, and then we all just be upset. But then it's just 5 instead of 10.
I really think they.
Because sometimes there's some people that get into the 10 nominations that I'm like, there's no purpose for them to be in the top 10 of the year. It's just because there was one. The one movie that I hated that got in was it really close and incredibly close? Extremely Loud and Incredibly Fuck close. That movie. I'm so upset. And that movie got a Best Picture nomination for no reason. Because people were rallying against that movie. In the politics of the Academy, fuck that movie. Shouldn't have got a Best Picture nomination.
Yeah, I'd be happy to have it back to 5. There's less movies to watch. I just feel overwhelmed. There's 10 movies. I'm like, oh
and it's all within the span, like we were talking about last week.
Yeah.
It's just when
they're released.
January. That's it.
Right. So there's no announcement yet, but they're going to meet on March 24th. The Academy's Board of Governors is going to meet to talk about that.
Ooh. It's fancy.
We'll report back on that, maybe, if we remember. Okay, so next piece of news. Toy Story 4 will be a romantic comedy, announces this Entertainment Weekly article, and follow a new storyline. So Toy Story 4 is happening, and the Pixar president, Jim Morris, told... Disney Latino? Is that a magazine?
I don't know.
Maybe it's just Latino Disney.
Okay. That the new film in the franchise will veer from the relationship between the now college-aged Andy and his beloved toys that drove the first three movies.
But that's what makes Toy Story so great.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be
I don't want a love story.
I thought it was that little kid.
We have so many love stories. This is a different kind of love, and I just I don't know.
It's weird because I thought it was going to be between the little girl that got the toys at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, I'll understand if they're going to have their interaction, but it says here it's not going to put too much focus on the interaction between characters and children. So will it be just the toys then? Will it just be like Jesse and Buzz Lightyear's love together? Like that would be cute. Or Woody finding love?
Morris says it will not put much focus on the interaction between the characters and the children. So I don't know what that means.
Oh,
Rashida going to be about? I know. I was like, Rashida Jones is going to write the script. It says in this article that Rashida Jones and Will
Andy Samberg will all of a sudden pop out of all the
pen the script. So the movie is slated for June 16th, 2017 to release.
So far away.
Yeah.
2 years.
But I mean, it's animation, so it takes a long time. Oh yeah, I was going to say we should talk about that. Maybe later.
Okay,
after.
maybe later.
Yeah. It was so good though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, not sure how I felt. I didn't even know they were making a Toy Story 4, but whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. It'd probably be great, and it'll probably win it.
Probably.
Yeah,
they're always. I was skeptical about Toy Story 3, and then it was possibly the best one.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
That's true.
All right, next piece of news. I like that the headline. Okay, Jlaw Spielberg tackling war photographer's memoir. It's What I Do. So Jennifer Lawrence and Steven Spielberg gonna collaborate, I guess, in this movie about a war photographer, which sounds boring to me.
She says a combat journalist plays a Dario, a combat journalist who, in the face of danger and kidnappings, capture unforgettable imagery from such war-torn areas as Libya, Afghanistan, and the Congo.
Okay.
So, this book just came out. I just saw an Entertainment Weekly article about about it. Like it came out, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and now they're already adapting it to a movie.
So Jennifer Lawrence in a war movie. I don't know.
That'll be her most serious role.
Hunger Games are kind of a war movie.
Yeah.
But it's they're a different level of reality.
She's so good though. I think she can definitely do it.
She'll be stripped down of she'll have to be I think it'll be a different thing because most of the film she's either play a really eccentric character. It'll be like Winter's Bone. She'll play this kind of stripped down character that I'll be excited to see.
Yeah,
from her.
I'll see it.
Of course, Maya's gonna be the first in line.
I'll be the first in line because I love my Jlaw.
If Jennifer Lawrence is listening.
Jennifer Lawrence is listening.
Of course she listens to Chicks Dig Flicks.
You should be my best friend. We could go to the Cheesecake Factory together.
Cheesecake Factory. If I had to pick one celebrity that might listen to Chicks Dig Flicks, I would pick Jennifer Lawrence, maybe.
You would pick Jennifer Lawrence?
Who would, if a celebrity was listening to Chicks Dig Flicks, which one would it be? Could be Jennifer Lawrence.
I feel like Taylor Swift seems like she was doing stuff
if
around.
you were her fan, she probably would. If you were a super fan,
oh my God,
she'd listen to
Taylor.
it. Taylor, shout out to Taylor. We do love you.
We do love you.
Maybe not super fans because I feel like super fans of Taylor Swift are super fans.
Yeah, but
we do love you.
Big fan of your work.
I like a blank space. What is
it? Yes, it's blank space.
I like that song.
I think that's what's called. That song came on about 5 times when I drove from Indianapolis to Oberlin, and I sang through the whole thing, and I did a whole expression. So love me, and we're blogging this on Tumblr.
And then listen to Chicks Dig Flicks. All right, next piece of news. Harrison Ford was in a plane crash, but he's now in stable condition and expected to make a full recovery, much to the relief of Harrison Ford fans. Yeah, everyone.
Everyone loves Harrison Ford, right?
Great actor. Everyone loves Han Solo and Indiana Jones.
Yeah, he's indie.
He apparently has cell phone footage of this. I don't know where I could find that, but he just had it where he just created those little small planes.
Mm. And I saw some people are Harrison Ford is immortal and can do anything. Because apparently he maneuvered this plane himself. Someone says it was a masterful feat of airmanship. There were about 8 trees nearby, and he put it down without hitting any of them. So, wait, where was he?
I think it says Santa Monica.
Oh, yeah, Santa Monica.
It says that he was also involved in a helicopter crash in 1999, so this is not his first time.
This guy is
He's a long-time aviator.
Wow. Yep. Well, good for Harrison.
Get well soon.
Get well soon.
Make another Indiana Jones with Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
I completely forgot that happened.
Like, you should.
Completely.
I was telling a Whirlwind film series, which I'm the treasurer of.
Aren't you? You're like the chair of that, aren't you?
No,
you run most of that stuff.
Taylor helps me too. And then I was like, what if we show Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? and we just like everyone out. We think they're showing the first Indiana Jones movie, and then and we lock them in there. And they have to watch it.
Oh God!
And it was like, why do you
hate us? What did we ever do to you?
I saw it. It wasn't that bad. It was kind of a fun movie. Rosie and Maya just like stared at me.
No, I mean I thought it was fun when I first saw it. Because I was never a big Indiana Jones fan. So I was like, "What's the big deal? What's a big deal? It's just Shia LaBeouf." And they're like, everyone's like, "You don't even know art."
You don't even know.
That's art. A bit dramatic.
Don't even know art. All right, next piece of news is what's new on Netflix in March.
Yep.
So I was looking it over. There's some cool things coming out. The Aziz Ansari new comedy special. I want to watch that. That was posted this weekend.
The Roger Ebert film is coming out March 19th.
How to Train Your Dragon 2, March 11th.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the Roger Ebert film?
It's a documentary about his life.
Okay.
And it's really good. It's really good, guys. Check that one out.
Okay. I'll look it up. The new season of Glee.
That was for me. She said that just for me. Oh, we watched yesterday, Maya and I, and Marissa, shout out to Marissa, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, which was just
I watched
really
the first 2
good.
episodes of that too.
Yeah,
we really enjoyed it. It's just we were saying that, because Parks and Rec is now sadly off the air, it's just nice to have this like super optimistic, happy show. Yeah. And it does deal with some dark topics.
For our listeners who don't know, this is Tina Fey's new television series that she produces and writes. She's not an actor on it, but Ellie Kemper from The Office and Bridesmaids is the star, and she's a young woman who spent most of her life in a cult thinking that the world had ended, so now she's like living in New York and doesn't know how the world really works. And it's like it's kind of like New Girl-esque almost, but like way more extreme and much more. It's a different tone, but it's like more like it's like that naive girl trying to make it in the hard world.
Yeah.
I watched the first 2 episodes. I liked it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Anything else of interest coming out? Tyler Perry's The Singles Mom Club. She's our. Oh yeah, that movie about. Never mind. But yeah, that's pretty much all we have for news for you today, listeners. Yeah, short news week.
Yeah, I haven't really seen that much, so unless there has comment if there's anything
we missed,
we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
So
if you comment.
Oh, that's creepy. Yeah. We should do that.
Well,
it's like all together, just like comment.
All right. So should we? Oh yeah. We haven't done this segment in a while. We're bringing back Trailer Trash Talk.
Does
that not have a segment opening?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. We'll fix it. We'll get it. We'll fix it in post. We'll get something.
I'm gonna fix it in post.
Yeah. And I'll fix it in post.
Thanks, Anna.
But yeah, we need to get a segment for this. We'll get a song. Okay. I got friends. I got connections.
Okay.
We'll get a song.
We'll get a song for Trailer Trash Talk. In the meantime, though, this is all you have. So we're going to be watching and live reacting while you watch it. Marvel's Avengers: The Age of Ultron, the 3rd trailer.
Yes. So I've seen this, but...
You've seen it? I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't?
I have seen it. I have seen it.
So, everyone, find the link in the description below. Queue up your trailer.
I'm just watching it on yours.
Do you want to watch it on here?
Yeah,
let's just watch it on yours.
Okay.
Queue up your trailer, listeners, and we will start it in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, there it goes.
All right. So we've got the green screen and appropriate. Okay. Where are they? It's like a Lord of the Rings landscape.
Oh, see, the Olsen twin.
Really?
Yeah. Well, not a twin, but
Yeah,
she's their sister. Younger sister, I think.
Who is that? Like,
No idea.
Why is she so made up?
Joss is
that's
obsessed with, like, random standardbys. Who's talking?
The Ultron
Ultron.
Park.
Nice. New tower.
He created it?
Yeah, the
Fuck you, Iron Man.
Dude.
What is he doing?
Oh.
What?
Yeah. Not in.
I don't like Black Widow and
I don't like it.
Hawkeye and Black Widow together.
Yeah! What?
I don't like
Black Widow and what's his name? Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah, the
the
whole.
Hulk.
The Hulk.
Some shirtless Chris Hemsworth in there.
Oh, he said. Some snow, okay.
Oh, that's so Joss.
Looks like a bum.
I got no plans tomorrow night. What a soundbite.
always
Oh,
got
that was. Yeah, that's my favorite part. The Black Widow is just.
Oh, snap. Ooh.
Whoa. Who was. Was that Cap holding Iron Man? Oh, who was it?
Oh.
No, that's a new thing.
Wow.
That was.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was so
Wait,
Jossy.
What is that? God damn it.
Okay.
So it seems
okay.
like it's, of course, it's going to be. This is the third trailer, so there's obviously the one with the Pinocchio, like. Jeez, that was a good one.
That was really good. They released some
darker-
scenes too.
Oh.
I think 2 scenes.
So this is going to be the darker Avengers. It's like a little bit darker. I think it's
Yeah.
like leading up until the Civil War, which is
War.
going to
Yeah.
happen.
Do our listeners know about that? Should we spoil them on that?
I don't. I mean,
Oh,
I know a
don't
little bit
know.
of it, but
Maybe we should.
No, okay.
I feel like we shouldn't.
so yeah. I mean, it's going to be fun.
I'm excited.
I'm excited for the film.
And we're all gonna go together, right?
We're all gonna go
Yeah,
together.
we'll go together.
That
We'll
was
watch
it.
it.
Midnight? Well, it's not gonna be at midnight.
8
It'll be at
p.m.
like,
showing.
oh, that's so
I
lame.
love it.
It's
I love being
beautiful.
able to go to bed early.
Because then we could go
Y'all
to
are old.
Fort Mill. We could go to Fort Mill.
Anna's 22 now. She goes to bed early.
That's true. Maya and Rosie were like talking
We're
to me
the
about their nights,
21-year-olds.
and they're like, "Oh," Rosie was like, "Yeah, we were like drinking and like singing." And then
What?
Maya's
Drinking? I don't drink.
Like,
What was that shitty wine we had yesterday, Rosie?
you were drinking pure water.
Yeah.
Uncontaminated. And Maya was talking about how she went to like karaoke at Brewster's, and I was like, I like went to bed at like midnight.
Okay, sometimes that can be.
Whoa.
I went to bed at 11:30 the other night.
Wow. But it was
Like,
really 1 a.m.
asleep.
because of daylight savings time.
Oh, well, I would.
Okay, that's
So.
true.
Yeah. So there's that. All right. I'm excited about the new Avengers. We'll
Yes.
see it.
Let's do it.
do
May 1st.
May 1st.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Should we move on to box office report from
Yes. So it's, March, February through April. It's not a really great time to see movies. Usually the shitty movies come out, or just like no one goes to goes to see movies during
Except
these
for us,
months.
yeah.
Except for us. So number 1 is Chappie, which will probably make around $13 to $15 million, which is not that good at all. Like, if you think of being number 1 spot. But yeah, it's 13. So that's number 1, Chappie, which is the robot movie with Hugh Jackman and Dev Patel about a robot named Chappie.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2 is Focus, which is has $10 million. Dropped about 45%, which, it's okay. It's getting total gross is $34 million, which still is not good for Will Smith and his, number 1
His
status.
image,
It's starting to, hang down.
And they haven't made back.
Yet.
Yeah.
So, number 3 is the second best Exotic Marigold Hotel, which came out this weekend, with $8.6 million. And yeah, so all the old people can get to see a movie.
Yeah.
All the old white
No,
people is
like,
wanting to travel. This is about old British white people that go back to India because there's another exotic marigold hotel. It's like Judi Dench and Maggie Smith and Richard Gere, all your old time all stars right there.
They're like, there hasn't been enough imperialism. Let's do it again.
Yeah. Round 2.
And Dev speaks with like a really, like, he's Indian, of course. He's British Indian, but he speaks with a really accented, like accent. And my mom was like calling him out in the middle of the movie theater we saw. She was like, why is he speaking like that? And, like, no one speaks like that. Like, he shouldn't have to like exaggerate his accent because all the other Indians in the film are not exaggerating their accent.
I'm guessing it's not Dev Patel's fault.
I don't think
I'm
it
sure
is.
the director was like,
Yeah.
bring it,
level it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 4 is Kingsman Secret Service, which has been doing pretty well. Got $8.3 million or around that by the time, and it's only dropped a few. So, but it's been pretty good. And then 5, rounding up the top 5, is SpongeBob movies, Sponge Out of Water, which made $7 million. And it's probably one of the like highest grossing films of like the early 2014, 2015 year. But
I mean, it's been in the top 5 for 5 weeks now. This is week 5.
Yeah,
It probably won't be there next week.
I love how 50 Shades of Grey just drops like.
Oh yeah,
consistently.
That was Anna's prediction.
Yeah,
it would drop out.
It drops
of the top 5.
I don't know what my prediction for next week is. SpongeBob will be gone. I'm guessing.
SpongeBob will go on. For movies coming up soon.
Oh, I was going to just say that. Did you see the budget for Still Alice was only $5 million?
Wow.
So they've definitely made back.
Yeah. Also, there's this film called Unfinished Business that got number 10 that opened up this weekend and made really shitty. And that one has, I just read it, it's like Vince Vaughn and Dave Franco in it, and it made $4.8 million dollars. And that's weird, you know.
Jupiter Ascending's down there on number.
Well, I haven't heard anything about it.
I've never heard anything about it.
So that's maybe why, because they had no marketing.
Yeah, maybe do a little more marketing next time, Dave Franco.
So coming soon to theaters, we have Cinderella, which is coming with
Cinderella.
Kate Blanchett as the stepmother.
What is that movie? I saw the trailer before Still Alice, and I was like, it's literally just like the cartoon.
It's just
the same thing.
It's just like the cartoon.
Why was that necessary?
Like, what? There's no spin. I was like, I just want to watch Hilary Duff a Cinderella story because there is like an interesting.
Well, I was like, I just watched Into the Woods at Christmas, which is like way more interesting to me.
Also, there's this movie called Of Horses and Men. Don't know what that is.
Of Horses and Men?
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
Bite Size, which is about childhood obesity. That's so real. That's so mean. Well, that came out already, but
that, no joke, like the play on Of Mice and Men title, like, is something that I did with like a YouTube video I made when I was like 15. So I don't know who's like the professional coming up with titles.
That's terrible.
There's The Cobbler, which is with Adam Sandler, and that has 0%.
Okay, on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, on Rotten Tomatoes. And then there's another one called Cymbeline with Ethan Hawke and a bunch of other people that I can't recognize.
So basically nothing comes out.
Yeah, basically nothing. Either it's going to be Chappie or it's going to be
no, I don't want to see Chappie.
Or we can go
I'd rather
out.
see Chappie than Cinderella.
We can like leave. Let's just leave. Let's like not go to
we could go.
We could go out. Let's just do that for the sake of
listeners want us to.
Unless you want us to comment. Comment to see if you want us to see Cinderella because it's coming to the Apollo next this coming up week. So
please don't make us see Cinderella.
You have the power if you only comment.
Yeah. All right.
Shall we move on to
We gotta get another
I just love hearing you guys do that.
Should we get like another theme song for this one too?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
We need to stop subjecting our listeners to that awkward.
We need to be more professional. We got these professional mics. We're in this professional studio, and we're doing shit like this.
Yeah, we gotta bring.
No, we should have.
All right, higher quality production coming at you next week, maybe. So, Rosie.
Still Alice. Whew, what a movie. So the synopsis says, Dr. Alice Howland, played by Julianne Moore, is a renowned linguistics professor at Columbia University. When words begin to escape her and she starts becoming lost on her daily jogs, Alice must come face to face with a devastating diagnosis, early onset Alzheimer's disease. As the once vibrant woman struggles to hang on to her sense of self for as long as possible, Alice's 3 grown children must watch helplessly as their mother disappears more and more with each passing day. And so the movie stars Julianne Moore, obviously, as Alice, and Kristen Stewart, Kate Bosworth, and Hunter Parrish as her children, and then Alec Baldwin as her husband.
Yeah. You want to give us your review, Rosie?
Sure. I didn't really know what to expect going into this. I knew what it was about, but I was not prepared. I was crying a lot. Mm-hmm. And it just, Maya could confirm, she was sitting right next to me. And it just, it really hit me hard. It was just, I don't know, really like emotionally honest in a way that movies sometimes aren't, and just like let Alice feel everything that she was going through and like express herself, which was like one of the main like difficulties, I guess, because she was a linguistics professor, and so she was all about communication, which I really I don't know, I connect with that. So that was like, it was difficult to watch, but it was just really a really well made movie, and it touched me, and it I don't know.
C weight scare?
Yeah, I would say C. Definitely see it. It's a really good movie, good film.
All right.
If you're emotionally prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I was not, but still.
All right. So I did. Yeah. So Rosie was crying a lot. I didn't cry during this movie, but there was definitely a lot of really heartwarming and really like emotional moments that like could have made me cry. But I was really focused on especially. This film is so focused on Alice, which I was like, I don't know why I wasn't not expecting, but it was all about her. It followed her only. There were so many close-up shots of like her emotions and her skill, and it's so subtle. Julianne Moore's performance of her, I thought it was incredible. I mean, she deserved the Oscar. I mean, of course, several different times, but this one was so good, because when you're doing a film about a lot of diseases, it's always so worrisome that it's going to go into the dramatic, really over the top, and she never like did that. It was always this line that she was able to keep this like performance within, because that's what happens to people. It's not this overly dramatic film that just like this melodrama. It's really, really compact, and people have to feel deal with it themselves. And I thought it was just really powerful that you have this woman who, her whole, life is based on communication and linguistics and, finding out what people are saying, and she can't express herself anymore, and how it robs her of that, because she, especially when they're saying the highest education, people deteriorate faster because they were trying to put it off for so long, because they were didn't know exactly what was happening, so they just kept it in mind and didn't know. And so she was just like losing, all of a sudden, like she lost her job, she lost all these things in her life, and it was just, Julianne Moore just did it well. And I thought the cinematography was beautiful. I thought they really just captured her, and like when she couldn't remember anything, all the background would go like foggy, and it would be like out of focus. And I thought it was such a well done part, because I didn't know how they were going to film her having Alzheimer's, like how they were going to like show that with like how we were supposed to feel to that. And now when she was doing that, especially like certain parts where she couldn't recognize her kids and stuff like that, and there have them out of focus, that was like really impactful to like for us to understand what she was going through. So I thought that was a very great movie that I wish it got more stuff, like more awards. I wish it wasn't like came out so late for people to really appreciate this movie, because everyone did so well in this cast. Kristen Stewart did really well. Alec Baldwin did really well. And it was just... do
you disagree with that?
I'll wait for my review.
Okay.
Well, I think the ones who did, of course, was Julianne Moore and Kristen Stewart did really great. And I think the script was really great. I felt, it just was a very, very well-made movie. So I give it a C. I think you should see it.
Well, hearing your guys' review has kind of influenced me, because I was actually, like, not as, like, into the movie, but you guys make good points. It was, I definitely agree that Julianne Moore was, like, amazing in it. I thought it was such a great movie for her. So if you're a Julianne Moore fan, definitely go see it. It's, like, a great film for her, and I think she deserves at least a nomination. I don't know if she's going to get it because of the timing of the release, but definitely hope that she gets nominated.
Well, she already
got
she won.
Oh, she won?
She won.
I thought this was like a new movie.
No.
It came to the Apollo late.
Yeah.
See, I left the Oscars early, so I didn't know who won stuff.
Oh, yeah. It came out like for critics,
so she did
early,
win.
but it came out here.
She won.
Okay, well, she deserved it. It was great.
And she's never won before.
She's never won before.
Oh,
That's
okay,
her
that's
first.
good.
Yeah.
I'm happy that she won, because, yeah, she definitely deserved it. And I thought Kristen Stewart was really good, too. And I was talking to my friend Sarah that I saw it with, and she was saying that it felt like an accurate representation of getting this disease, which I did feel. I mean, I don't know anybody that has Alzheimer's, but it did feel like really real. The emotions all felt really real. It didn't feel too cheesy or like over dramatized in any way, like you're saying. So that was nice, and it made it touching. And I did cry during her speech when she was.
That was one of the. I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, she lost it.
Okay, all right, Maya.
That was good. My critiques of the film were, well, first of all, I liked it, but I also just felt lousy after I saw it. Like, I was like, that was just like, oh. So I'd say you don't, like, that's why I would say, I might say wait, unless you're a fan of Julianne Moore. I don't know, just like, if you're not in the place that you just, like, want to feel sad for 2 hours, like, you don't have to see it. I don't know.
I actually really liked the ending where it's Kristen Stewart's kind of, like, reading from the play, and then she kind of... it's mirroring an earlier scene where they talk about Angels in America, but, and then she asks her mom, like, what did you think? Like, what was it about? Mm-hmm. And her mom just goes, like, love, it's about love. And that's
she also can't really talk anymore.
Right, I mean, yeah. Well, right.
Which is awful.
But, I mean, it wasn't, like, I don't know. It wasn't uplifting in the sense that, like, everything's going to turn out fine, but it was uplifting in the sense that, like, that's... She had so much love in her life, and like all her family, and and that's what it's about.
Yeah, I guess I took it more of like, oh my god, she can't even say words now. Like that's really sad.
Like, really sad because there's a lot of like older people. We were the youngest, probably. Like,
I know a lot of older people were in the theater with me too.
Yeah, in the back, and they were like really, I think, affected by it because they were. I don't know if like. If they've had experience with it or something, but it's just like definitely was
something more they worry about.
More, they're worrying about it. It was just like, it was a really sad movie. But I feel like even if it's a sad movie, I think you still could go see it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there's so many really awful movies, but like that's like really hardcore. But I think this movie's like
the emotions are real. And that's always...
and I think that's what you should see. Like instead of waiting for it to come on TV or something, or like see a Lifetime movie, that's like pumping up the melodrama.
That's true.
See something that's like was made with care, because this was based on a book by I think a woman who had Alzheimer's or whose family member had Alzheimer's, and then the person who directed the film I think had ALS, and that's what Julianne Moore said in her speech. Said this person was like, what do you want to do? Do you want to travel? Do you want to do this? Like, I want to make a film, and they made this film.
Wow.
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought that was really great. So
a few more things. I wish that they had someone else for her husband other than Alec Baldwin, just because like I didn't get any like warm, loving feelings from him.
He's like a weird guy. Like he's never like
his acting style, maybe
his acting style, maybe just him. Every time I see him, like He just reminds me of when he yelled at his kid, like, on the phone, and then just, like, him just being an asshole on, like, Twitter
it's
and
hard
stuff.
to separate that stuff from, like, his characters. But, like, also, I just, like, I didn't feel like he cared about Julianne Moore at all. Like, even when they were
I feel
doing
like
the
they should have gotten Mark Ruffalo.
Oh
my God.
Right?
He's, like, really
you would have, yeah.
But then I might not have bought that he would have,
would have left, yeah.
But I think they could have found a nice medium there, someone else. But, but I mean, it was fine. He wasn't in that many scenes, so it didn't, like, ruin the movie for me or anything. Yeah. And the other thing I had was that I didn't know it was based on a book, but I just feel like a lot of times when you're writing about, like, tragedy, especially, like, medical tragedy or mental illness or something, that it's easy to set it in like, this kind of, like, really rich like, family who has everything else going for them in their life, and so they don't have any other problems. So then they can, like, focus on this one new problem that they have.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is kind of an easy way out for writers, so they don't have to, like, write about how all of your human problems kind of, like, come together when you have something big like this. Or, like, because, I mean, finances obviously weren't a problem for this family who has this beautiful apartment in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And they're all, like, super well educated, and their kids are going to law school and medical school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't have any problems with, paying for doctor's appointments or medicine or any kind of finance. So I was like, well, that could have been nicer. And I also feel like a lot of times these movies are kind of like, imagine if, like, this perfect white rich family, like, imagine if, like, their lives weren't perfect. Like, wouldn't that be so awful?
Yeah.
Like, if these people who have, like, the perfect ideal standard life that you guys should all strive for, like, if something went wrong, that would just be really tragic.
Yeah.
So that was my main critique, but also, like, it was a good movie, and Julianne Moore was fantastic. So I'll give it a low C.
Yeah.
Because I do think you're right that I think it'll be better in theaters than on TV. The emotions will be lost if you watch it on TV, I think, a little bit. So yeah, I'll give it a C.
And it's, like, interesting like how when we're talking about the education, and it's weird when they were getting, like, mad with each other between, like, because when Alice, she was kind of, she was, like, a caring mother and stuff, but there were certain points where she was, like a little bit, like, tension, like, she was, like, say something manipulative, and she would say stuff that was, like, mean, and she was not this perfect person.
That's so realistic.
Which is really, really realistic because, and then, like, I like how she had all these words that were, like, really fancy words that she was, like, writing to memorize when she was making Thanksgiving, and then, like, how that slowly, like her base of, like, knowledge like that, and just, like, interesting about. I like that she played off of Kristen Stewart so well, because Kristen was like, I don't need this, I don't need to have, a full education and be like I'm like who I am, which is something.
But the other scene that made me cry was when they're, like, at the breakfast table or whatever, and Kristen Stewart, her character, asks Julianne Moore, like, what does it feel like? And she gives this whole explanation, and then she says, thank you for asking me, because I feel like a lot of times with, like illnesses like this, people feel like you kind of have to walk on eggshells around them, and you never really, you think that it would just, like, be upsetting to remind them of it and, like, ask them, but I feel like it might be more upsetting to not have anyone ask and just to be completely in your own head and be going through this on your own and, like, not have no one else really understands. And that was the other part of the speech that she gives that was so powerful, because it was like, everyone in the audience is crying, and it's like, oh, they get it too. And so it's like, you're not alone. And that was the whole point of the movie too, I think. It's like, you don't have to go through it alone. I mean, she's very lucky. She knows she's very lucky that she doesn't have to go through it alone, but
it's really interesting when she says, like, I wish I had cancer.
Yeah.
And that was, like, things like, why would you ever say that? And she's like, well, at least I would have all this support, and people would, wear ribbons, and they wouldn't look at me in that way, which was, like, really, like, really, like, the way that certain diseases are looked at, and, like, how people, like, the way that are handled, especially in public life, and who has, the more funding, who gets the more support, who gets the more, like, all these different kinds of things play into how people feel, like, about it.
That's why I didn't really understand, like, during the whole ALS thing, when, it was like all the videos and stuff, and people were like, well, why don't you give to other, like, I mean, I think it's important to like give to other places, but this was just like just highlighting this one thing that like doesn't really get that much attention and doesn't get that much money, and like I don't know, I thought it was a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think people wanted to critique it in that some people didn't seem to know what they were doing it for. I think people were like trying to critique that, but like doing it in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like people like had the sense that like some people were approaching it in the wrong way, so they like were trying to find something to critique, but they like.
Yeah, I think it was because like there was, you know, of course, a lot. It was like a big trend with a lot of, you know, young people, and young people were just doing it so they could see their friends get pranked or whatever, and so. And then they
it raised a shit ton of money.
Yeah, it raised a shit ton of money. And then I think also people were saying like celebrities do it because you either do it, you have 24 hours to do it, or you pay this much, $100. And people like, celebrities, they're like, make sure these celebrities like, you know, donate and do this.
I'm sure they did.
But then also there's a criticism because a lot of people were doing it in California where there was a drought. And people were like, why are you wasting like your water, especially if there's a drought going on? Like, you shouldn't be doing that, which Matt Damon highlighted by taking toilet bowl water and throwing on his head and saying, don't waste water, which I thought that was like a really... Like, it is true. You shouldn't be wasting water when there's a drought outside when you have, like, a limited amount of water and, like, throwing it in your pool. Like, you know, like, just, like, all this stuff. But, I think...
No, it's always good to raise awareness. People get mad about trends all the time, I feel like, sometimes. Like,
they always do.
Yeah.
If it's not going their way or it's not doing what they want, they always...
If they don't feel included.
I mean, I feel like there's weird... Sorry, I was like, I feel like there's, like, weird trends of, like, what's popular now. Like, so, on Empire, the main character has ALS, and, like, I feel like that wasn't, like, a not made, like, clear choice because it was popular while they were developing the show.
You think that is why they did it?
I think so. I think a little bit of it. I mean, it's easier because then, like... because, like, how...
I feel like they probably were developing it before that happened.
I mean, they were, but I feel like... There's just trends. Like, I think it's like a weird... If there's something affecting, then all of a sudden I'll see it on TV, like, everyone either makes a joke about it, one, or they're like, it's something that's like now there's like a bunch of movies that will come out about it, whether it's on TV or like a character storyline. I mean, it happens so you could keep it in the mind so you get reviews, but it's
natural. Like, you think about people writing these things, like, what are you thinking about? Like, you got, like, the material has to come from someone's head. Yeah. So.
Yeah, where is this, like... leading from, like...
Yeah. I just realized also, as moderator, that we didn't come up with a discussion topic for today.
I guess we're sort of talking about something.
How much time we got on the... If it says on our GarageBand, how far we've gotten into the episode.
It doesn't... We can talk about, like... Saying. It doesn't say.
It's recording, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We can talk about, like, sad movies. I don't know. Like...
The benefit of sad movies.
Yeah, what is...
Emotional movies.
Yeah.
Or, like, or some movies where you're like... There's some movies, I feel like, where they're really trying to convey an emotion that has meaning behind it, like Still Alice.
Yeah.
And then there are some movies where they try to, like, manipulate your emotions purely for the sake of manipulating your emotions. Like the Lifetime movies, like you say, like, the music will swell and you don't feel like the research was done behind the writing, or like that there's like real feeling.
Our point is always to manipulate you, though.
Well, I think definitely. But like sometimes there's meaning behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that like the difference is that with Lifetime movies, it's more obvious that they're doing it, and like it's not done as well.
I think those like what is it? Those like, you know, inspirational films with like the teachers, or like, you know, those like savior films are always
white teacher goes into a black school.
Okay, but I love Freedom Riders. Like Freedom Riders was like the shit though, like because it was so good. And the guy who was part of the Freedom Riders, the really big guy who accidentally shot his friend in that film and he went to jail. He came to my high school and he said like, this like woman helps me out so much. She like realized, because he was so bad at English that he had to be enrolled in English as a second language, and he was like so pissed by that because he was like, I'm a merit like this and this, and then he was like, how she like helped her, and like how she was this like giddy woman, and they were like, man, we're gonna fuck her up, but then she was like persistent with him, and he became like a big professor, and like and he had like he speaks like ancient Greek and like Latin, and he was just like, you do like. And it's, I don't know, sometimes I'm like always like, oh well, fuck these movies because they just want to make it, but then also like, who's the people they inspired? But then it's also like, they keep putting these films out like white people need to be saving people all the time. Why don't they put black like films with like black people or other people of color saving, like, you know, like saving, but like, you know, helping out their own community? Why is there always like? And
I think a lot of it has to do with like who are they making these movies for? Like, who are they making a movie where like a white person saves like some, or like whips these like Mexican American kids into a cross country team or whatever. Like, that's not made for anyone except white people. Like, I feel like the audience that they're thinking about is like, white people are going to feel good about themselves when they see this stuff.
Like, they're trying to rally like, you know, a Latino base because they're now becoming a really big demographic in movie going. But I also feel like it's like, as long as you put like the head, like, it's so Disney-fied, like, you know, and it's like when they try to do that film, the Disney film with John Hamm, and he takes those 3 kids from India to be on a baseball team.
What?
And you did not. It's like, I don't know what it's called, like Perfect Pitch. I don't know.
Perfect Pitch?
No, it's called something else. But it's like just John Hamm being this guy that's like, you know, his life, he's a single man that doesn't give a shit about stuff. And then he goes to India and like gets these 3 people. And I was like,
over it. I'm so over it.
Yeah, I don't know, like, I think one film, I was just saying, because I was talking to Rosie about what films I've seen and I've cried in, and one film I've seen that I've like actually cried in the movie theater was Fruitvale Station. And that was because it was like right after, I think I saw right after Zimmerman trial, or it was maybe in between, and my sister, it was like, there was about 12 of us in the theater, and like 8 of us cried. We were like, it was really heavy, and we were all in the
you want to
bathroom.
Give a synopsis?
Oh yeah, Fruitvale Station is about Oscar Grant, it's about a day, like New Year's Eve, about a life of Oscar Grant. He lives in San Francisco, and he was shot by a BART station police officer when he was pulled from true story. And it was made by Ryan Coogler, who came to Oberlin last year.
So cool! I wish I could have seen him.
Yeah, it was really great.
But yeah, no, I cried reading that script, because we read that script for my screenwriting class, so we just like read the script, and I'd already seen the movie, so I could like picture it too.
Yeah.
But like, no, that's a very powerful, the way they write that.
Yeah, like I didn't cry the second time because I knew what was happening, but the first time it just like I think it was just like a combination of how raw it is, and it was really pissed me off because one of like, not like about the film, but after, because this film was about a guy that, like, you know, it's about a 22-year-old guy who, like, you know, there's so much gray area. He's not like super good, but he's not super bad. He has a family, he has a kid and stuff, but he also did bad things, you know, like he also, you know, sold drugs, and he also tried to, you know, put his life together in that way or go down that route. And he was in this, like, as the film has explained, like, he was in this middle crossroad. Now we don't know exactly like the middle crossroad that Oscar Grant, but this is what the film has. And my friend, my mom's friend Elizabeth was getting into an argument with her friend because she said how much, like, Elizabeth said how much she loved the film, and the guy was like, I don't know, he wasn't a good guy, and like he wasn't doing all these things.
Hear that,
and it's just
that's literally from like real life.
Yeah,
it's like, Trayvon Martin, you know, like, oh my god, it's disgusting.
It's
like,
bad.
yeah, you deserve to die if you like. He didn't even actually shoplift, but like, if he shoplifted, like, yeah, he deserves to get shot.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's like, well, he wasn't good in his life. I'm like, he was trying to sell drugs, like, you know, 5 hours before this, and then all of a sudden that gives you a purpose to shoot him in the back. Like, I was like, you know, there's
like, how are you living your life that you don't like?
Yeah, like all of a sudden it's just like, well, they showed him such a nice guy. I feel like he wasn't. I'm like, shut the fuck. Like, I was so mad, and I was glad that my friend, like, she defended, and she was like, you know, so a 22-year-old boy who's just a young kid that's trying to figure out his life deserves to die because he made one bad decision or 3 or 5 or billions of bad decisions. Like, no one deserves to die, regardless of what their like fucking decision is, especially in the hands of, like, you know, of some, like, you know, of someone in power like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was just like that was, I think, one film. I think I cried after was 12 Years a Slave. I cried after that one because I was like, had all these emotions, which 12 Years a Slave was about a man who was in slavery for 12 years, even though he was a free man in the North. And I was just like thinking about like my ancestors and like what they were like. Did they not think themselves? We talked about this when I was like, they didn't think of themselves as like do they think of themselves as human beings where they like, you know, realize that their worth and their self-worth in this like life? And I was like, like out, like I saw it twice too, and so I was just like thinking about that constantly, about like where it comes to me now, like here I am now as a person. So I don't know, what do you guys last cry
I cry
at?
at all movies, honestly. Like, so it's hard for me to judge because, like, movies are always getting me with their manipulation of the music and stuff. I always cry. They always get me. But, like, so I have to judge it by how hard I cry, I think. Or, like, or if I cry again. But, I don't know. I always cry at A Walk to Remember. That Mandy Moore movie where she has cancer.
Yeah.
Like,
I was tearing up during Fault in Our Stars.
oh, yeah.
Because, like, you know, like, I mean, I know, like, I read the book, but I just felt it, like, in my heart. My mom did not feel it. She was like, this is some Lifetime movie bullshit. She was so upset with that film. She was like, it was all right. She, like, marched out.
I cried really hard at the end of The Butler, the film about the African-American butler in the White House who, like, sees all the presidents. Mm-hmm. I cried really hard when, like, when Obama is, like, president and, he's, like, there. That, like, got me. I don't know why. And then I cry a lot at Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. In the last scene when they're all clapping because Hagrid came back. That makes me happy.
Happy tears.
Yeah, when people clap and there's like a big room and then like the music swells and like people are really happy and like a room, and that gets me. That get me.
High School Musical 3 makes me cry every time. I'm just like so serious about this. Every time it ends, like my sister and I watched it from like beginning to end on Disney Channel. Like did like a whole marathon of it, and like at the end they're like smiling and they walk out and like they're like High School Musical. We said we have to let it go, and it's so beautiful. And like my high school graduation wasn't like that at all, and it was just like they're so nice and they're all dancing and being celebrated. And I see this like this is the last moment, and like they're holding hands and then they jump up in the air and they do a freeze frame of them and then they smile and rush of tears. And my sister and I like turned to each other. We were both crying. And we were like, why? It was so beautiful. It just like it was like an era that I was like obsessed with High School Musical and it over, and like they were just it was a beautiful, I think it's a beautiful piece of Disney work. I will give that to Disney. But it was like, oh man, I was just like Troy Bolton. He's going to Berkeley. He's going to study acting and play basketball.
He can do both.
And Gabriella can go to Stanford and do science stuff because she was a fucking genius. So, Rosie, you didn't say anything.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I always used to avoid sad movies and just sad stuff in general when I was younger, and I still kind of do that. Just because, like, I don't know. I honestly, like...
Do TVs get you?
Yeah, TV gets me more, I think. I just, if I need to cry, I just watch Parenthood, and I'm just all at everything. Like, happy moment. They just are really, really good at, like, just tapping into your emotions.
That Glee episode with when Corey.
Oh yeah, that made me cry.
I hadn't watched that for a season, like 2 seasons, and then when that came on, I watched that episode. Oh,
that was just a good episode too.
I bawled like a baby. I was like, why? I was like,
I did cry at Still Alice though.
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
She was like, it's just so funny because she's like,
is it?
I was like, is Edmund crying too? And then, was he crying or no?
Edmund went with you?
I don't know. Yeah.
Hi, Edmund.
Hi, Edmund. Shout out.
Then you guys didn't even go to dinner.
We were I was so full.
We were,
Rude.
Ate a lot of popcorn.
All right. Well, I guess we should wrap up for today.
Oh, do you want to talk about Pixar?
Oh, yeah.
We can talk
We went to
about
the Pixar event, and...
It was about, like, the culture of Pixar, and it was...
I asked a question. A very good question.
A very good question. What was the question?
You said it was good.
It was a good question.
I asked about... Well, she was talking about, in the beginning, I came in late, but she was talking about, like, you can't think... that individually you have to, like, think of everyone's success as your success. Don't just think about your own success. So I was asking her about, like, how can you think that way? Because someone had just asked a question about how do you get a job at Pixar? And she was like, well, the internships are very, very competitive. So I was asking, like, how do you not think individually when we're so young, we don't have any job security, and it's really competitive to get any kind of job?
Yeah, and especially in the film business.
Her answer was kind of just... I mean, I didn't expect anything else, but just, try not to think that way. Like, help your friends find internships, like, work together, and you guys will have more collective success than if you're, like, hiding all your internship applications from your friends and stuff. Yeah. That was a good answer. It was like, good advice.
It was a really good talk. I feel like everyone now wants to work at Pixar. I mean, like, people wanted to work at Pixar before Pixar came in because it looks really fun. They had a video of them doing, like, playing games, so they, like, all get to know each other before Monsters University, or was it, like, during Monsters University?
I think it was during
the production of Monsters University, and it was, like, scare games, and, I mean, the thing is really, like, kind of, like, what they can't really tell us is, especially there was last year they had a guy from HBO who's really good friends with Marvin Krisloff. Marvin, hey.
Shout out to Marvin. You should listen to this. We should like tag him on Twitter or something. Instagram, yeah.
So they had like talking about like how to be at HBO, because he was talking about Lena Dunham had a voice and she came in the right. I'm like, yeah, but she like also had the backing of Judd Apatow.
Yeah.
She had she also hit the zeitgeist like at the moment that they needed something like that, and she just took off. Like that was pure. Yeah. She also had like funding and stuff, but she had pure luck because like just getting that. But like also she had the backing of Judd Apatow when she was getting to HBO. And it's just like kind of like bummer because they can't really tell us like how to get these things or all of it's just perseverance and like, which is kind of like you feel bad, because it's like
you're like,
I'm trying,
I can't, but
don't know.
I might not get it. I'm working so hard, that it might be for nothing.
Yeah, like I'm trying to get this internship, but they want experience, so you try to find another internship that will give you the experience. They'll be all unpaid, probably 2 days a week, and you have to move. So like it's a really tough market for the film industry and just like entertainment industry in general,
which all three of us are trying to get into. Good job, guys.
Collectively,
different
parts. Okay, so you want to do like journalism stuff?
Oh no,
you want to do theater, TV. I'm just like, I don't even know Rosie's like future plans.
Oh no,
what like part? Like you don't have to say exactly what you want.
This is just like Thanksgiving dinner.
This is awful. This is horrible.
Do you have a boyfriend in your life? Is that how they go to? Like, what's your job and what's your boyfriend? Rosie, what's your job and your boyfriend?
What do you want to go into, Meg?
I want to go into like film, like film production or TV production. Actually, I was thinking about it last night. I was like, film is getting is way behind now. It's becoming way behind, and TV is like the future now. Even though new media like YouTube is the future, so it's like a weird cycle. But I want to go into production. I want to do writing for TV shows. That's my future, like writing for TV shows or movies, and directing. That would be great. Creating something that people will enjoy, because I think that my voice matters.
Yes,
I am
voice does matter.
The voice of a generation, or a voice of a generation. HBO Girls, Sundays at 9 p.m.
That's right. And then for me, I don't know, something with writing, some kind of writing. That's what I'm
She's going to be on Entertainment Weekly and hang out.
We're all writers.
Yeah,
I mean, I love writing, but I'm not going to do journalism because I've done it, and it's just.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's hard.
It's hard. I mean, not like
Alana, who does listen.
Yeah. Alana's great.
Yeah, she does for Bustle. She works
for Bustle,
and she hasn't put out
and the Macy.
Yeah,
and she gets she gets George Takei, and she
writes great articles. She
works really hard. There's so many. When I find when it comes through the feed, and I this is Alana's article, and then I click on. I'm like, Alana put up so many articles, and I was like, oh my goodness, there's so many.
Hard. She deserves all her success. Go look up Alana Bennett.
Alana Bennett on Twitter. Bustle, Mary Sue.
Look her up.
Shout out to Alana. That we just did
a really long shout out.
2 minutes.
Okay, moving on to campus events. I looked at some stuff while we were talking. There's a lot of film things happening actually this week. So we've got. I guess there is an Asian cinema in a global context thing going on.
I should really know more about that because I have to go to the whole day long symposium.
Really?
Yeah, for my Bollywood cinema class, which is it's fine because she canceled our screening for next week and also our class on Wednesday. So
there's I think probably a lot of posters up about this. Yeah. There's a lot of film things happening. There's a film screening on Thursday, I think is the first one I found, at 8 p.m. called Sock and Roll. It's a documentary about a former volleyball player who runs a small sock making factory in Taiwan. So that sounds interesting. And then there's another one on Friday at 4:30 called My Fancy Heels. This is is this a documentary? I think this is a documentary. Follows the footsteps over the period of 2 years of a pair of name brand high-heeled shoes from the border of China and Russia to the streets of Manhattan. Okay. Sounds interesting. Check it out. And then there is a lecture by a Taiwanese documentary filmmaker, I'm going to destroy this name, Ho Chao Ti, maybe? And that is Saturday, 7:30 p.m., Dai Lecture Hall. And her films include Wandering Island, The Gangster's God, and El Salvador Journal. She's won some documentary awards. So that sounds cool. And here's another lecture about cinema by Tom Gunning. I don't think this is part of the Asian cinema.
No, I still have to go to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So this is called Why Cinema Has Not Yet Been Invented, or Taking the Digital in Hand. There's no other information about that. So
and Tom Gunning is like...
He's a big...
Yeah, he's a big person.
Oh, okay. What's he doing?
Well, he is... Do you know, like, Cinema of Attractions? That
yes.
Yeah, that's him.
Pat made me read that.
Yeah, okay, Pat makes everyone read it.
So a famous cinema academic scholar coming to lecture. Maybe I will go to that. It sounds interesting. Friday at 8. Kind of a rough time.
I know. I was like, happy hours? We got a happy hour and then go to the lecture.
Rough time for a lecture.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We'll see you there, mildly tipsy listeners. We won't be. If you see us, we're not tipsy.
Yeah.
There's also Cinderella's coming to the Apollo and
Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, Princess Mononoke.
I've never seen it.
It's coming to the Apollo.
You're dead.
Midnight at the Apollo on the 13th and 9:30 p.m. on the 12th. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you next week.
Yeah, check in next week. And leave us a comment.
Leave us a comment.
Comment.